Television. Oh boy, this morning I watched the Hannibal finale. I tried to watch it last night using my dad's Comcast account. For some reason it doesn't let him watch NBC Live, even though I can watch like USA Live and things like that. Strange. But watched it today, actually while holding Alistair. I planned on like cleaning my office while watching it. Instead I was holding Alistair, so I kind of had to focus on it. And that was good because, you know, the first like 30 to 40 minutes of the episode, I was kind of like, oh, come on, why are we still doing like the whole Red Dragon plotline? And, you know, I'm actually, I feel embarrassed to say this because I know it's not that beloved of a movie. I'm a big fan of the Brett Ratner Red Dragon movie, even though I hate most of the other stuff Brett Ratner has done, like X-Men 3, even though I love X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. You know me, you know my tastes. But it's just going through all the same beats as the movie and the book, of course, and a lot of the lines are just taken straight out of there, and it doesn't feel genuine to me because, especially with the characters of Will Graham and Hannibal Lecter, like, what we've seen in the show, these are different characters. This is a different relationship and a different dynamic than what was in the book. So, you know, to have Hannibal making, like, snarky comments that aren't quite in the vein of what he would have, this iteration of him would make, it's a little bit strange. And so, yeah, I mean, it's going through those beats, and it's like, yeah, I know Francis Dolarhyde fakes his own death, blah, blah, blah. Reba thinks it's him, but she gets out, hooray, everyone's okay. Will Graham tries to comfort her. But then, bam, 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 I can't slap anything loud right now, they diverge, and it's really cool. So, you know, we establish that Francis Dolarhyde captures Will Graham, brings him to like a hotel. You think he's going to kill him at that moment, but then they're kind of bonding over how they both feel like Hannibal was like a mentor to them, but then betrayed them both, so they have this common ground. And so it seems like Will Graham gets out of there by being like, oh, what if I could get you Hannibal? You know, how do you feel about that? And so then it becomes this really cool, elaborate, you know, last-minute thing of like, okay, how can we get Hannibal and Francis Dolarhyde together and just have the opportunity to kill both of them? And, you know, I mean, Hannibal actually, this is a line that actually felt useful in this episode from the book, which is Hannibal's whole thing about, like, any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use. And so, although the way Mads Mikkelsen said it, it almost sounded like he said, or give me my books. Maybe he did say that, I don't know. But, so it becomes this really cool thing of like, okay, how do we let Hannibal, like, have a fake escape, but then we'll let Dolarhyde actually kill him, and then we can kill Dolarhyde, or vice versa, or something like that. And it's like, alright, how do we kill both these guys? And the way that whole thing comes together, you know, Dolarhyde, you know, intersecting the vans and grabbing both of them, or he didn't grab them, he lets them escape and then I guess follows them or something like that. And the casualness, this is like Mads Mikkelsen's Hannibal, like, you know, getting out of there, kind of walking very casually, pushing the guys out of the police car, driving off, just like, ah, come on, Will. He has that line like, oh, going my way. You know, again, and the bromance of this whole thing and this kind of flirtatious thing going on. I mean, I have not cared about like a male-male relationship so much ever since, probably since 6 Feet Under, where I thought the whole David-Keith relationship was absolutely fantastic. And even though, for all intents and purposes, both Hannibal and Will Graham are straight men, there's this kind of vaguely erotic tension between them that's like really interesting. And I feel like you could write a dissertation about like the weird pathology and psychological dependency issues that these characters have with each other. And then you throw in Bedelia, Gillian Anderson's fantastic character in there, and how her brain is working with this whole thing with Hannibal, and was she drugged up to what extent, what kind of choices was she making, how much of it was to survive, how much of it was because she actually enjoyed the experience. I'm kind of skipping ahead a little bit. Please, if you haven't seen Hannibal, like, don't let me keep talking, shut this off, go watch the show, because I want to talk about what is probably going to be the series finale. I know there's a little bit of talk of maybe doing a movie or something like that, but this worked really well as a series finale. You have Dolarhyde, Hannibal and Will sharing like a romantic glass of wine, let's say it's a Chianti, and then Hannibal gets shot through the back, through his stomach, and it's, you know, here we go. Here's the blood, here's the final sequence. You know what's happening. Dolarhyde comes crashing in. He's got dragon wings busting out of him. Will Graham, you know, tries to help. He's preparing to pull his gun out. Dolarhyde is about to film himself killing Hannibal. Very fitting for that character because he's got, you know, his whole film background. out of nowhere, pulls out a knife, stabs Will in the face. Oh my god, blood everywhere. Jesus, it's intense. Really insane. Then Will pulls the knife out of his face and stabs Dollride. Dollride grabs the knife again, stabs him. I'm sure there's some kind of penis, you know, facile thing going on here. I'm sure there's some kind of penis, phallic, you know, imagery, metaphor thing going on here. But then, you know, Hannibal goes and he's tag teaming him and they both go out and then they're outside all of a sudden, they're crashing through windows and everyone's beating up on everyone else. But then you start to see like Hannibal and Will Graham do this like Sam and Frodo thing looking at Gollum where it's like, okay, we gotta work together. And they have this 1-2 punch killing Dollride with, you know, Will Graham like slashing Dollride across the chest and Hannibal coming up from behind, actually very Gollum-like, and taking a big bite out of Dollride's neck, and he's spraying blood and he falls down and you see these wings collapse, but then as the blood's pooling around him, it's creating these wings behind him, and it's beautiful and horrific and incredible. But then, you know, Will's been stabbed in all these places and Hannibal's bleeding out and he's been attacked, and they're both like on the verge of death. And they're like hugging each other, like supporting each other. And, you know, Hannibal has this line like, this is all I ever wanted for you, Will, to like know what this feeling was like and what this kind of experience is, and for you to be true to yourself. And by that, I don't know if he means that like you're a killer or you just need to be more aware of what your emotions are. Who knows? It's this beautiful, powerful moment, and on a rational level, I wasn't even fully comprehending everything, but on an emotional level, I was just like tearing up and bawling, and they're supporting each other, and I'm thinking about Will's family and all the things that Hannibal won't get to do, and I'm thinking about like the future books and the future plot lines that Hannibal doesn't get to do in this iteration, and I'm sad about it. And they hold each other and they fall off the cliff together, and it's so romantic. And then we have just this, the camera pans down and we just see the rocks and the ocean, and it's crashing, and it's very reminiscent of the end of last season after everyone had had their throat slit, and all we see is like the blue sky right before the plane comes. And very fittingly, again, great symmetry, in the season finale last year, you see the blue sky, the plane goes by, cut to Hannibal and Bedelia in there talking to each other. This time, looking at the water, cut to Bedelia in a dining room, candles, beautiful music. She's sitting there in this gorgeous dress. Gillian Anderson, it's great to see her get to dress up in things besides FBI suits. And she can totally rock the FBI suit, but she's had some awesome dresses this season, and I'm not even someone who really understands how to appreciate fashion. And she's there, and there's this beautifully prepared meat log, I don't know what the proper food words, meat log across this table. And there's an empty setting across. And you think, oh my god, is that supposed to be for Hannibal? And then you pan down, and she's missing a leg. Why is she missing a leg? And so my first reaction to this, of course, was like, oh my god, how fucked up is that? Like, she was anticipating Hannibal after escaping, coming to want to eat her, because there's this whole thing about how he really wanted to know what she would taste like. And she's like, well, very teasing, like, not today, I'm going home, never see you again. And, but then it's like, oh my god, did she do this herself? Did she prepare her own leg for Hannibal? Is she insane? Is she drugged up? And then I stumbled accidentally on like a Facebook post, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but someone pointed out that there were 3 place settings, not just 2, and that there's no way that Bedelia would have prepared something like that, and that she totally looked drugged out. And that there's a very good chance that that was implying that Hannibal and Will were somehow still alive, and that all 3 of them were about to dine at this, you know, meal, which Hannibal had clearly prepared because it's totally in his style. And, you know, so I guess if there was going to be a season 4, that's the little hint you have there that they're still alive. But, oh my god, so powerful. So yeah, let's, just a few words from the show. In total, I'm super bummed the show's over. I really wanted to see what they could do with Silence of the Lambs, with a Clarice Starling character. But, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe it's better this way. Like, I wasn't in love with the stuff they were adhering to from the Red Dragon plotline this season. Maybe I would have felt the same way if they were sticking too closely to the Silence of the Lambs plotline, because this is a different Will Graham and a different Hannibal Lecter than what the books gave us. And I love this dynamic. I love this relationship. The weird, you know, Will's got this like pseudo-autistic thing going on. Hannibal's charming but a psychopath, but, you know, hates people who are rude, so we all empathize with that. And watching these two develop their relationship, especially early on, when, you know, we know what Hannibal's true nature is, and Will doesn't quite, but then he's starting to figure it out, and he doesn't want to admit it to himself, and then he knows, but no one believes him, and then Hannibal's, like, egging him on to try to, like, pin him down, and then, you know, we get into this season where Hannibal's escaped, and he's free, and he's thinks he's killed everyone, or everyone thinks that he's killed them, and then, you know, he's back, and then there's this whole thing of, like, I guess because Will rejected him, and said, I don't need you anymore, that was why Hannibal turned himself in, and then, you know, everything in the prison, and yeah, it was just such a cool show, and there was nothing else like it, and nothing gave me such beautiful, horrific imagery that is going to haunt my nightmares for the rest of my life, but in the best possible way. Like, Brian Fuller and this team, everything from the way the food was designed to the shots that would be lingered onto the pace of talking. I think these scripts must have been like 10 pages for each episode, where they really took their time with pregnant pauses, and the characters are so memorable and really well acted, and man, it's going to hold a special place in my heart forever. Thank you, Hannibal. Thank you, NBC, for giving it a shot. 3 seasons. I know the viewer numbers were never great, and I'm grateful for the 3 seasons we got. It was a really cool show. And yeah, I look forward to whatever all these people do in the future. Brian Fuller with American Gods, still haven't finished the book. Mads Mikkelsen possibly as a villain in Star Wars, I think? Was that right? Not Star Wars, no, he's supposed to be the villain. And he's going to be the villain in something. And then Hugh Dancy, I think he's going to be on another show. So, you know, it'll probably be like Breaking Bad, where it's like never quite the same seeing these actors doing something else now. But I'm just going to appreciate the show, and, you know, maybe I'll do a rewatch every so often, because I feel like there's so much to unpack in most of these episodes. There's such a density of visual content, psychological content, analysis. Again, I'd love to see someone write some insanely critical psychology-based essay about the relationships in the show. But Hannibal, solid 5 stars, guys. 5 stars with a confidence of 5. What a cool, weird show that in any other universe would have been a total cash-in for the character of Hannibal, and here got to be so much more. So, thanks everyone.